Shalom, Ahab, Wa, Baraka. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Waharakat Wadash, and double honors to the elder apostles, the prophets, and the teachers at GMS that have been bringing out this 100% truth for the last 30 plus years, not wavering to the left or to the right, saying things like, all nations are going to be saved, or all nations can be saved, or Cornelius is an Edomite. It's not true. So we're going to go after these Genesis Israelites one more time, and I'm going to leave this shit alone. I'm tired of bringing classes out on these dudes. But this is it. Let's get it. Oh, yeah. This clip is from Biblical Defenders. There we go, right there. These Israelites fell from grace in a short time. And the name of the channel is Biblical Defenders. So if you want to watch the class that he put out in its entirety, that's where you're going to find it. All right, let's get it.
And this is, again, not clickbait. Non-Israelites receive salvation. Should black Hebrew Israelites accept?
You know what? Non-Hebrew Israelites should receive salvation. Let's go. Let's go back.
And this is, again, not clickbait. Non-Israelites receive salvation. Should black Hebrews?
So this is not clickbait. Non-Israelites receive salvation. I mean, I'm just letting him say it for himself before we dice that up, because they don't receive salvation. They receive what we would call a curse and a recompense. How do you see that as salvation? Oh, because they'd be grateful to be a slave. No, bro, it's not going to be like that. In fact, let's start right here. Let's all get back on the right frame of mind, and let's go right into it. I mean, basic stuff. Basic stuff. It says that the other nations, yeah, if they so happen to survive what the Most High is going to do to them, if they so happen to survive, they're going to be slaves. If they choose not to be slaves, they will be put to death, straight up. So they're not going to be like joyful to be a slave. They're doing it to keep from being put to sleep forever. Stop playing games with the truth, man. The Most High is coming to get you guys. You guys are all lying on the Bible, and then you're trying to twist the doctrine to make it sound like we're going to be all saved. You're a liar. And it's just going to be so glorious to be a slave in the kingdom. There's parts of the kingdom where women can't go. There's parts of the kingdom where only the prophets are going to be able to go, the 144,000. And then there's 12 gates in Revelation 21 telling you only Israelites are walking through these gates. Now the outer courts and outside of all of that, we're going to have slaves. The holy city, I don't know, the holy city, really? We're just going to have all kinds of wickedness right there in the holy city? Anyway, getting away from all that, let's go to the truth. And what does the truth say? Isaiah 14:1. For Yahweh will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And the strangers, oh, there it is, the strangers. No. The strangers shall be joined with him. Those are the strangers of Israel. Everybody knows that, even Genesis. They know that it's only talking about Israel. And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. That's the people that are Hellenized, that wake up to the 100% truth and come back to the Most High to receive his mercy. Verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the people of Israel shall possess them in the land of Yahweh for servants and handmaids. They shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. That's not salvation. That's called a curse and a recompense. In fact, these guys are going to get treated twice as bad as we got treated. You guys got to be joking. Oh yeah, everybody's going to be saved. I don't know where you guys keep getting these lies from. But we got to be aware of these false prophets, right? Especially in these last days. So we got to go right back. And you know, this is crazy. This is so basic. The most basic. First, let's start off at 2 Peter. In chapter 2. That's right. Chapter 2. And we're going to start from the top, and it reads, beware. I'm sorry. 2 Peter chapter 2, starting from the top. But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you. And we're looking at a false teacher right now. This guy got kicked out of Sakar. Well, he pretty much, I don't know if he left Sakar or got kicked out. But they wouldn't let this dude in GMS. And Alazar let him in GMS, and Alazar ended up getting kicked out of GMS. That's how Alazar left GMS, because of this guy right here on your screen. You guys think I'm joking. I'm not joking about this. This dude's been trying to come up ever since the beginning. I think that he is an insert. He's been trying to find it, and he always seems to have everything going for him, but he doesn't bring out truth. Why is he wearing a baseball cap to teach the Bible? Isn't that just disrespectful? Oh, well, the top of my head is bald. And isn't that just disrespectful though? You're gonna get a fitted on to bring out the truth. So you see these guys. Let me keep reading. I'm gonna read this to you again because this describes these type of people right here. But there were false teachers among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privily shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying Yahweh that brought them, and bringing upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of. So listen carefully. By the reason of whom the way of truth. So when we start telling you guys truth, these guys on the screen right here, this guy especially, now it's Priest Hakah. That's such a powerful title for a person. You're the high priest, or you just regular priest? Priest Hakah. The elder, the main elder at GMS, he's just an apostle. He's just an apostle. You're higher than him, I guess. That's crazy. You just voted yourself in, gave yourself you gave yourself the name Priest Hakah. Nobody else called you a priest. You called yourself that. So it just shows you that the Most High is going to destroy these people. They secretly bring in damnable heresies. Now, this guy mentioned a long time ago that if he wanted to cash in and get a bunch of money, he would just say all Gentiles, in other words, all nations can be saved. Now that's the big debate. The big debate is all nations can be saved, and many shall follow their pernicious ways. So what we really need to do is find out what the definition of pernicious is, because it's a really powerful word. So many shall follow their subtle but extremely destructive ways, leading to spiritual ruin or death, often through false teaching. That is the definition of pernicious. So many shall follow their ways, which is false teachings that lead to spiritual ruin and death. The people that are following you are spiritually becoming ruined and dead in spirit. That is extremely destructive. That is the definition of perdition. You are extremely destructive with your mouth when it comes to this truth. You better watch out, man. You guys are crazy. Let's read verse 3. And through covetousness shall they with feigned words make merchandise of you, whose judgment now of a long time lingereth. Your judgment is lingering. So you've already been warned. You've been warned. Your judgment's lingering now. Okay? You know what that means? Whose judgment lingereth not, and their damnation slumbereth not. So your judgment, your time is coming. Right now it is lingering. Everybody's thinking that you're great, and you're, oh yeah, he's telling the truth. You just need to listen to him. No. He just said that all nations can be saved. Now we've got to go to Revelation 22, because you can't say that and it be true. You can't say that and it be true. So let's go to Revelation 22 and 18. For I testify unto every man that heareth the words of the prophecy of this book, if any man shall add unto these things, Yahweh shall add unto him the plagues that are written in this book. So are you adding to the book by adding people to the kingdom, saying that they're going to be saved? You act like they're going to be neck and neck. Hey, I can't believe Bill Gates is here sitting right next to me in the kingdom. That's the way you're making it sound, and that's the picture that you're painting. So you're very wicked and deceptive. Let's read verse 19. If any man shall take away from the word of the book of this prophecy, Yahweh shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in the book. You're getting yourself removed by yourself through your own vain imagination. The things that you're saying are absolutely wrong. And it tells you in verse 12, I say it in every class, at the end of every class, behold, I come quickly, and my reward is with me to give every man according as his work shall be. You're telling everybody they're saved for money? That's neat. Let's get it. Let's get it though. Where's that at? That's in Titus, right? Chapter 1. These are basic scriptures now. These are basic scriptures that we have to go to. So Titus, starting at verse 10, for there are many vain and there are many unruly and vain talkers and deceivers, especially they of the circumcision. Let's see what the word unruly means. What is the biblical definition of unruly? Disorderly, insubordinate, out of line, describing people who don't follow the rules or authority. Sounds familiar. Where Yahweh or church leaders, whether Yahweh's or church leaders often being disruptive, lazy, rebellious against spiritual order. Wow. Rather than just physically wild. So that word is a pretty big word now that you guys see. Unruly, let me tell you again, it means to be disorderly, insubordinate, idle, out of line. Describing people who don't follow the rules or authority, whether God's or church leaders, whether it's the Israelites or it's them damn Christians, often being disruptive, lazy, or rebellious against spiritual order, rather than just physically wild. So, wow. It signifies a lack of discipline, a refusal to keep rank like a soldier, or an unwillingness to be led by Yahweh's word, leading to spiritual disharmony. Wow. So, Hakah, you are unruly. Your unwillingness to be led by Yahweh's word leads you to spiritual disharmony. Wow. So you may have all the money and the looks, and then we're all going to have to assume that a great abundance is a blessing from God now because you got it, right? That great abundance for you telling lies against the truth shows who you really are. So let's keep reading. Let me read 10 again. For there are many unruly, now that word makes sense, and vain talkers, worthless. Vanity means worthlessness, emptiness, empty words. So unruly and vain talkers and deceivers. Deceiver means liar. Damn, all those words in one sentence? Bro, especially they of the circumcision, especially our own people. Verse 11, whose mouths must be stopped, who subvert whole houses, teaching things which they ought not for filthy lucre's sake. Whose mouths must be stopped. That's why we have to keep bringing out classes on you and the other guy. Because you are destroying, subvert, destroy. Subvert means to destroy. You are destroying entire communities, entire houses. In other words, this dude hears you, he goes and teaches his whole family that. And then his family starts going off and teaching other people. And now everybody's teaching fucking lies again. You're bringing everybody right back into Christianity. Whose mouths must be stopped, who destroy whole houses, teaching things which they ought not. And guess what did he say? If I want to take the full bag, I will teach that all nations can be saved. Let me read the end of that. It says, teaching things which they ought not for filthy lucre's sake. And if you don't know, he's teaching things that he shouldn't be for dirty money. Okay? And you're always getting caught out by your own people. That's the crazy thing. So let's get 12. One of themselves, even a prophet of their own, said, the Cretians, might as well say these Genesis Israelites, these IUIC, these ISUPK, HOI, WFI, every single camp practically is about marking themselves off for destruction. Crazy, right? Crazy. Even it says that these Cretians are always liars, evil beasts, slow bellies. So what is a slow belly, guys? That means fat and lazy. Fat and lazy. All right. So verse 13, the witness is true, wherefore rebuke them sharply that they may be sound in the faith. So what do? We bring out a class. That's the sharp rebuke. In fact, let's get it in Leviticus 19 and 17. That's where it's at anyway. Rebuke them sharply that they may be sound in the faith. So what do? We put out a class saying, hey, bro, you can't be saying that stuff. And what do? You make more classes. And now you guys are having a debate. And you're bringing Alazar, who was kicked out for, for the sexual misconduct with other men. And he's going to run the debate. That shows you how wicked this is getting. But like I said, in Leviticus 19 and 17, these guys are building off it. They get paid money. They get that lucre to have a debate against each other, whether the Gentiles can be saved or not. So when you go to Leviticus 19 and 17, after we just told them they're teaching things which they ought not. So what do? We say this, thou shalt not hate thy brother in thy heart. Thou shalt anywise rebuke thy neighbor and not suffer sin upon him. So this is all in love of our brothers and sisters that we have to correct this wacko, because somebody's going to see this video and say, you know what, man, he's right, man, this guy's crazy. He's out here making shit up. He's out here just saying whatever for money. Now this guy Yakanan over here at K6J1V3, he don't take cash from nobody. He don't want nothing but to teach the truth. And there's a lot of us out there that our reward is in the kingdom, and we understand that. This guy understands the here and the now. So verse 13, going back to Titus chapter 1, verse 13, the witness is true, wherefore rebuke them sharply that they may be sound in the faith. So that takes you, right, like I said, back to Leviticus, because you don't want to suffer sin upon your own brothers. Verse 14, not giving heed to Jewish fables and the commandments of men that turn from the truth. And who's paying you, bro? Who's paying you? Because the word Jewish fable means Jewish lies. And the commandments of men. Yeah, I said this. I commanded this commandment that. It don't say anywhere in the Bible that the other nations are going to be saved. It says that the other nations are going to be slaves and that they're going to get a twofold portion of what they gave to us. I don't understand how that's salvation in any way, shape, or form. And that Edomites, it literally tells you that they'll be like a fading dream. That's like, I can't remember. When it's a fading dream, it's something that you can't remember. Oh, what was that dream about again last night? I can't remember. I can't remember. That's what it's going to be like. So, no, only Israel. Israel is a speckled bird. Now, the Most High is not only in all this black Hebrew bullshit, too. Black only. That's a lie, too. Because that means I ain't getting in, and neither is my family, because we're not even black. I'm dark brown. So I'm trying to figure this out. But I know that Moses and so many people had wives that weren't Israel, but they still get to be Israelites. But then in this new age, you got all these stupid liar motherfuckers that think that they're so proud of themselves. They have such a high level of pride. I'm the Israel. Look at I have an afro. So do fucking Africans. Africans got afros too. Black only. So you tell me all these Africans are going to try and get them in. See, this is all stupid. It's all out of confusion. Jewish fables. Jewish lies. Who pays you, bro? Like I said, the person that pays this guy, that's where he's getting the money from. So Jewish lies and commandments of men. And what are these made up commandments that they're telling you? They turn from the truth. Okay? They turn from the truth. Should I read another one? Why not? Unto the pure, this is verse 15. Unto the pure, all things are pure. But unto them that are defiled and unbelieving is nothing pure. But even their mind and conscience is defiled. You're destroyed. You're destroyed. That's why you want to go around destroying other people. Let's move on. Let's go to the book of Micah, chapter 3. I've been kind of sick to my stomach lately. Just seeing all this going from, like, you talk about people wavering, like the waves of the ocean. We're going to get that too. We're definitely going to get that. But let's go to Micah 3 and 11. In fact, yeah. I'm going to start at verse 9. Hear this, I pray you, ye heads of the house of Jacob. IUIC, ISUPK, Genesis Israelites, HOI, WFI, whoever those guys are that wear all red that try to look, the ones that gave off the spiritual shout-out awards. All you guys, all of you, the heads, the house, and the princes of the house of Israel that abhor judgment and pervert all equity. So let's get the definition for equity. They pervert all justice, impartiality, rooted in Yahweh's character. The word means straightness, okay? Levelness. A perfectly balanced scale. You're not balanced, bro. So when you get into it, it says that they pervert all equity. They pervert all balance, all justice, all fairness, the straightness. So they pervert Yahweh's moral standard with righteousness. You see what I'm saying? Of his moral standard of righteousness. So these are the things that they're destroying when they lie. They build up Zion with blood and Jerusalem with iniquity. You're building up Jerusalem with sin. You're lying to the people. You're taking money from them. You got guys out on the street wearing baseball caps teaching the word that aren't bald. But they see you doing it as a leader and they follow the leader. So verse 11, the heads thereof judge for reward. And the priest thereof, what does that say? Priest Hakah. And what does the priest thereof do? The priest Hakah, you're the priest. Priest of Bach, or whatever. I don't know. You guys are all got a special name, but you specifically call yourself priest. So the priests thereof teach for hire, and the prophets thereof divine for money. Yet they will lean upon Yahweh and say, is not Yahweh among us? No evil can come upon us. You guys are doomed. You guys are doomed. You're out there taking money from the people, and you're getting rich. Just that Mountain Valley water you got right there on the side. Stuff's like $3-4 a bottle. Just to have that. That's you're out there, you're raking in the dough where the rest of us are struggling along. I'd rather struggle along at the bottom and know that I have a reward in the kingdom than take from my own people and risk every chance of being in that kingdom. So let's move around a little bit more. Let's go to Matthew chapter 6. We'll stay away from 24 for right now. If you don't know what it says in Matthew chapter 24, then you really haven't read the Bible, because that's it's very popular. So let's go to Matthew chapter 6, starting at verse 24. Yep. No man can serve two masters, Hakah. Either he will hate the one and love the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve Yahweh and Mammon. Mammon is money, just in case you guys didn't know. You can't serve the Most High and money. And so to try to include a paycheck with your teaching shows you where you stand with the Most High. Let's go back over to Titus chapter 1. We already read all that. So, I had one more verse, and then I'm going to shut it down. Let's get it. This is what I wanted to get. I had to look for it for a second here. It's Matthew 23 and 13, and I'm going to get it in the New Living Translation, because this is what happens when you constantly teach lies. And know everything. I know this Bible, and the Gentiles can be saved. That's what this is about. Saving the other nations. Are not going to be saved. But let me give Matthew 23 and 13, New Living Translation. What sorrow awaits you, teachers of religious law, and you Pharisees, hypocrites? For you shut the door of the kingdom of heaven in the people's faces, and you won't go in yourselves. And you don't let others enter either. So, in other words, he's not teaching the truth, so you're slamming everybody out of the kingdom by teaching things which you ought not. That's why they say you subvert whole houses. You destroy the whole house, because you're shutting the door of the kingdom in everybody's face, and you continuously make up new shit to lie about, like Paul's teachings shouldn't be in the Bible. Wow. I wonder what Paul don't care. His writings are in the Bible. You're just an opinion. That's all you are, is an opinion. Berean Standard Bible, Luke 11 and 52. Woe to the experts in the law, for you have taken away the key to knowledge. You yourselves have not entered, and you have hindered those who were entering. So the people that were coming into the truth, you're not in the truth, so now you've slowed them down or completely stopped them from coming to the truth. No, there's not going to be other nations being saved. They're going to receive a curse and a recompense, and if they're lucky, they won't be dead. That's straight up. So stop playing games with the truth, man. Stop playing games with the truth. That's all I have to say about that. So, Isaiah 9 and 16. For those who guide this people mislead them, and those and those they misled were swallowed up. So this isn't about when you go into I think it's Romans 16 and 17. This isn't about that because these people haven't learned. So when you go into Romans 16 and 17, it says, I beseech you, brother, mark them which cause division and offenses, contrary to the doctrine which you have learned, and avoid them. Now, we as the prophets and the teachers and the apostles, like myself, an apostle, a student, we know to avoid you. But when you go back to Isaiah 9 and 16, these are people that don't know right from wrong, and you're taking them completely to the opposite. There's the truth over here on a right-hand turn, and you're saying, no, we need to go to the left. And so let me read it again. For those who guide this people mislead them, and those they misled are swallowed up. You get that? So when you guys believe somebody like this dude, he gets swallowed up. He's going to get swallowed up. Now let's go over to the book of Obadiah, and we'll close out with Obadiah. Not only going into the Edomites, but I want to show you something. Right here. Obadiah 1 and 15. We're going to close out with this. For the day of Yahweh is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. All you fucking different nations. You got that? All of you are going down. None of you are getting away. None of you are getting away with it. So whatever you did to us, it's going to return upon your own head. Okay? So stop playing games. And if you got eyes to see and ears to hear, remember this. When you say that the Gentiles are an other, like meaning the other nations are going to be saved, you're not in the truth. And if you got eyes to see and ears to hear, I hope you got something out of this message. Shalom.